Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybrook Family Farm. So today I've been out in the woods working quite a lot. Tracy and our son Willie are both not feeling well, so they pretty much told me, please don't be super noisy outside. We want to both go lay down and take a nap. So I decided to come out into the woods. I do have some more like construction-y type stuff that I want to get done on the house this weekend, but couldn't mess with that stuff just because they need their rest. So I came out to the woods to work on creating a path. Our woods it is almost like invasive how many blackberries and black raspberries there are in our woods. They just form these really dense thickets like what is behind me, to where you can't walk through, you can't see anything, you can't we couldn't even hardly pick the berries. Like, it was that thick because we couldn't reach them, we couldn't access them because there was no walkway, there was no path. So I'd already made a path back this way to bring you up to right where I'm at now. Got like the hiccups or something. But so I took the path further that way. While I was making the path, though, I had noticed that there was more downed wood. So the downed wood is what we were planning on heating our house with this winter time. So because there's a tree over that way that is really, really, really stinking big, that we have somebody that has come and helped us. In the previous video I talked about how he came and helped cut some of it up because it's way too big for us to use any of the saws that we have to even attempt to cut it into small enough sections. So I was over this way working on following it up, and as I followed it up further up into the hill over there, now there is a massive, massive amount of berry bushes, most of which are on the ground now. I had noticed that there was tons of different downed trees and limbs and stuff actually right up in there. From where we normally walk through at this little, it's actually a deer trail that I made it wider because it was the easiest way to get up here was to just follow the deer trail when we first started doing stuff up here in the early spring. So I made the deer trail wider. But so when I started coming up in here, I noticed that there was like the entire top of that big tree that was, way down yonder, it was all up here. So I started working on cutting it all up. But while I was cutting over in here, then I noticed over in there was even more stuff. Like, these berry bushes are so thick because there's not just blackberries, there's also multiple rows. So like all of this here, like you can't even get through this. Like the camera does not even do it justice and stuff. But so I then got as much stuff out of there as I could. And I just started throwing it down onto the path that I just made. So now the path is inaccessible. But so there is the massive amount of wood. And like I said, the camera can't even do it justice how much wood there is here. But so I just bucked it so that way it's a smaller size. So then I can just take it. This hill here it's actually pretty steep. Our woods are. So I don't know if in the background you'll be able to, you can't see the beehives. But mosquito bite. The mosquitoes are so bad this year, it's ridiculous. But so everywhere that we are doing firewood stuff is all up really high up in the woods. It is a very, very steep hill. So that silver thing down there is the camper that's over by the garden. So it's like, I wish you guys could really see just how steep the woods are. Of course, me standing here straight behind me, it's dirt. It's really steep. But so it's nice because when I take the wood over to where the path sort of ends, I can literally just sort of chuck it down the hill and it'll roll down the hill. So I don't have to carry it like the entire way over to the woodshed. I'm going to take it, chuck it down the hill, so then it will roll down, and then from there where it lands at, I'll be able to take the wheelbarrow over and just cut it down into the proper sections that we need it to be. I didn't want to cut it small while it was up here just because then that's going to make it so there's so many more trips. I had actually thought about bringing the wheelbarrow up here to then go back that way through the woods and then down the hill and then down the goat area and then down around the barn. But that would be so many more steps. Like, it's an easier path to walk because it's not as steep, but it'd be so many more steps. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to work on taking all of this wood, which is, quite a lot. If I were to cut it down into smaller sections, it'd probably be probably like 8 to 10 wheelbarrow loads. Like there's quite a lot. So I'm going to take all that, throw it down the hill, and then work on cutting it into smaller pieces. The other day, which I'll show you guys in another video, I was going to actually start the video over by the front of the house to show you guys what I got done on the deck. Our deck now has railing that goes the whole way around it, and it has like a handrail to get up and stuff. That was all crumbling and falling apart whenever we got the house. So once we got the roof replaced, I tore it all off and started rebuilding it. So on Friday, I got that all completely done. It's very plain right now. It kind of looks just like an old-fashioned farm fence. So I want to do something more creative with it and make it prettier, but right now it's just functional until I have that like epiphany, that aha moment of how I want to do it. That's kind of how my brain works. Once I see something in my mind's eye, then I can create it, but I can't just like go out and start creating something. Like I have to have the vision of it first. So once that happens, then it's like nothing stopping me. I can just done and stuff. So it's kind of funny because some projects I'll just sit and wait on until I have that like epiphany moment of how I want to do it. But so I am exhausted from getting all this wood, and because there's so many briar bushes, like everything that you're seeing in the background, that is all berry bushes. Like you cannot walk through these woods at all. But it's really strange because once, like right where that tree was down at in the path, it changes the whole woods. Okay, so that whole area back towards the house is all berry bushes. Right behind me, right past where that tree was at, it's all ferns. So it's kind of funny that like there's all these berry bushes and stuff, and then like it's like a dangerous, treacherous walk to get anywhere. And then once you get to here, it's like you're in the clear. You're free and clear. There's just ferns and some poison ivy and stuff. So it'd be nice I'd like to eventually come through with like a hoe or a rake or something to make a clear walking path. So then that way I can take Lucky out into the woods, take him on walks and that sort of a thing. And then also it'd be easier for, the deer and stuff to travel through here and make their own, easy, simple path to make. But yeah. Lots and lots and lots of work ahead of me. We did find a neighbor down the road has some woods too, and she has allowed us to go there and collect dead firewood that's just like laying on the ground. Just basically what I've been doing here, because we had honestly thought that I had already gotten pretty much everything out of the woods that was going to be easily accessible, that was already seasoned, that was already like good to go to be burned for this year, until I started, really messing around in the briars. Well, they're not briars, they're berry bushes, but you know what I mean. Once I started messing around up there, then I realized that there was a massive amount of wood that, was just waiting for me. And there is more up that way, up further, but it's really dense where the berries are, like to the point that I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like my arms, I don't know if on camera if it'll show, it won't. But I have so many like little cuts and nicks and bleedy spots and everything already that I'm like, oh my god, it looks like I tried to give the cats a bath. Like it's bad. But and then down over here there's some more. This is part of that really big tree that, ouch. Like I said, so many berry bushes. So there's this stuff here that I'm also going to cut up before I start taking the stuff back down to the house. This is all part of that really big huge tree that our friend was working on cutting up for us. My chainsaw, my god, these berries are ridiculous. Like it's really funny that we have so many berries and it's like such an irritation, because when we lived in town we actually spent quite a bit of money buying blackberry plants and black raspberry plants and all this stuff, and then we come here and it's like the entire landscape is just, it's like it's littered with them. It's kind of funny that what we've spent probably over $100 on berry bushes to try to have them on our property in town. Now we have probably $1 million, so it's kind of funny that that's sort of happened. They just keep sticking to me. But so that's my agenda for today, is to just work on getting more and more and more and more and more and more firewood. And I feel like that's my entire agenda every day now. It's just getting firewood. But we are planning on trying to get the wood burner in this coming week. So it's going to be a very difficult, painstaking process to get it put in. So yeah, hopefully we can get it in the house and I can get it all hooked up and ready to go before it starts getting colder out. I know this week it's supposed to, the highs are only like in the 60s for a couple of days. So that's definitely serving as motivation to get my but moving even faster and working harder on doing the stuff. Feels like that's all I'm doing now. It's kind of tiring. But so if you're enjoying our content, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends on social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to help us grow. We greatly appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.